biology major, but I never really was aware that organisms had anything to do with farming. And a lot that workshop with Elaine Ingham was where I first was kind of made aware of it, and I've been to a lot of conferences since now, and she got me started on that anyway. And they're not. I talk to kids that going to CSU and wherever, and they're not getting a lot of it in school. The schools aren't teaching much about the microbiology. They'll acknowledge it sort of in passing, but really when you're conventionally farming, you don't worry about that because you're forcing nature to do certain things, and so the microorganisms, you're basically fighting against them rather than with them, and so it's not really a mentality that you really have to deal with much because you don't care what you do to the organisms. You're trying to get high yields, and that's the bottom line with agriculture, and so organisms really aren't stressed much in the ag colleges that I'm aware of. There probably some that are starting to do more, but certainly not anything like that locally.
No, you want...
I didn't get it.
Ask me a question, I'll answer it.
Yeah, so what's the transition been like to go from conventional to an organic farm for you?
For me, it also coincided with kids leaving, so it's more work for me. I'm now the hired man. I'm too sarcastic to be on your
No,
TV.
I like it. No, I want the sarcasm. This is good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the more sarcastic, the better.
Let's see, I call him Mr. Organic Man now, and he sits on the couch all winter surrounded with information he's reading, just absorbing it all.
And he discovered Twitter too, right?
He has. He sits on the couch and he twits and researches. Facebook. Yeah. And I Facebook.
Is there support for that too, as far as from the state or from the federal government, as far as going organic and shifting to that space?
There is some for the transition, which we found out about it after we were transitioning. So we're going to try to apply for a grant for a different planter that would save fuel and a different concept that Mr. Organic Man has in his head, which it should work. So
good.
But if they want to, help finance the experiment, that's good.
With the change in Washington, organic all of a sudden is getting all kinds of money. And they're probably going to waste millions of dollars on it because not all organic is. A lot of the stuff that's being named as organic is probably real worthwhile.
It's like the base. Basically, I don't know. I can't understand that. When I play this back when I'm editing the video, that's when I'll get a kick. I'll get a kick out of the sounds. I always get a kick out of the sounds.
I don't know who it is. 850-3310.
I'll answer it. Hello.
So tell me about that. Tell me about sort of the tiered system that you see happening with organic, as far as what you're doing and where you want to go with it, and how far you can go with it, and then how little you can do and still call it organic. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's what you're saying.
There's different.
Yeah.
There's different organics.
Yeah, and one is not really organic, right?
Well,
or one is less organic than the other. And I have to say that because
there's a real difference in philosophy, I think, for a true organic farmer. And I wouldn't even call myself a true one yet.
Right.
I'm working toward that. But I'm closer than I was. Really, just as far as where I want to be, is that I kind of set that as my goal last year, that my target in all my operations is to have nutrient-dense food. Because I've been learning that the more nutrient-dense the food is, the more healthy it is, which means it's going to grow better when it's more healthy. And so if I use that as my goal, then I'm going to and do the things that I need to get there. I will solve a lot of my other problems. For example, this year I had a problem with a certain disease on my potatoes. They weren't rotten or anything like that, but it was a blemish on the skin. It was a fungal infection, and it just made them look ugly. And it's been a real problem the last couple of years, partially because I haven't been able to sell them till in the late season. That's when the fungal disease develops and gets worse. But I found that if using different methods to get the nutrient density in the food, even though I'm not getting paid more for nutrient density, there's not really any system that'll pay you more for nutrient dense food, because a lot of people don't even acknowledge that there is a difference in nutrient density of food.
Well, there must be, right?
Oh, there is. There absolutely is.
Yeah.
And it can be fairly easily measured too. It's not something. I mean, you can spend a couple grand on a test to tell you the breakdown of it, but there are other ways you can do it. Bruce Tanio had a system that I don't know if he was the first one to come up with it, but he found that the sap pH of any plant that is perfectly healthy is about 6.4, and any deviation from that, it's having some problems. So that's one way of telling if your plant's healthy. And then bricks, measuring the bricks of a plant, which is basically by using a refractometer, you can see what the bricks is of your plant, as well as by squeezing the juice out of the leaves and stems onto a refractometer. You know what one of those is?
No.
It's a little, I don't know, what does it look like? It's got an eyepiece, like a microscope, the eyepiece, and and the eyepiece is on the end of a tube about this long, and on the end of it, the thing is sliced off kind of diagonally, and there's a little glass flipper on there, and you flip it up, and you squeeze the juice on that flat surface, and then you let the flipper down, and you shine it up in the light, and the light bends through that liquid. And the more solids that are in that liquid, the more it bends. And they've got a backdrop that's blue, or whatever color all the ones I've seen are blue. And there's a chart etched on that glass inside that viewfinder, and it'll tell you what the bricks is of that. It's real simple. And
so brick
Kerry
is not...
Reams and other people have devised scales that tell what bricks and what high bricks should be for each vegetable, fruit, whatever you're doing.
Sure.
And so you can, between the pH of the plant and the bricks of the plant, you can tell if it's doing good or not, and if it's going to be a nutrient-dense food.
I thought the bricks were like the things that you built the house with.
Well, that's another kind of brick. This is a BRIX.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful, because I had no idea.
You might spell the other bricks the same way. Anyway, the nutrient density thing is something that's my goal. That's what I'm trying for. And we get paid premium for a nutrient-dense hay that we're feeding cows. And so any animal feed, they know exactly what's in it, and they know what, and you get paid a bonus for that. But people food, absolutely no consideration given to that at all. And there should be. And I think you look at the health of this country, it's not good.
Because we don't even know. We have
and
no
I'm
idea.
not doing it because I want to save the world or feed the starving or whatever like that.
Okay. He's not doing it for that. I'm doing it for that. He's not. I'm doing it for that.
I gotta be honest.
No, really. I just like to meet a lot of people. Honestly, I just like to meet people. So this is the best way I could figure out how to do that and see the United States at the same time. So
I had a professor in college once ask me that. He said, "Where are you farming?" And I said, "Well, and why do you farm this way?" And I said, "Well, it's because you feed millions of people." And he said, "Oh, you don't give a rip about starving people. You do it because you enjoy it." And you're right. I know. And I am more concerned about nutrient density because I can see, the health of this country is not good, and it's because of what we're eating, and it should be painfully obvious, but it's not. And that just reminded me of another thing that kind of bothers me about my fellow conventional farmers.